Welcome to Submitting to the Alpha, a spicy paranormal romance web serial. Dive into Isabella and Roman's sizzling shifter romance and experience the thrill of toying with an alpha like never before. Join the adventure now. We hope you enjoy.
Chapter 6. Isabella. The next day, I slumped onto the ground, back against the pack house, legs stretched out in front of me. Everything hurt. My back, my legs, my arms, my abs, even my neck. But of course, Vanessa and everyone else didn't have this problem. They had all been treated like normal werewolves with normal abilities. I was pushed. Hard. 2 tan and muscular legs came into my line of vision. "Sore?" Caden asked, his black Adidas gym bag hanging from his shoulder. He tossed it down and sat in front of me. "What gave it away?" I asked, tracing the bruises on my quads. At least they didn't hurt as bad as they did last night. After my night with Roman, Mom had made me sit in a warm bath with moonflowers floating around the top to help with the pain. It worked a bit, but not as much as I had hoped. Caden rummaged through his bag and smirked. "That look of misery on your face?" I raised a brow at him and pointed to my face. "Oh no, this look of misery is not because I'm sore. I just don't want to go through another day of hell while everyone else takes a fucking walk in the park." After he peeled off his shirt, he scooted closer to me. "Alpha Roman likes obedience." Roman liked obedience. I stifled a laugh. I would disagree. Disobedience seemed to turn him on. I tested that many times, and each resulted in the same way. Him pushing his hard cock against me any way that he could. "I think you handled yesterday the best way you could," he said. The scent of mint drifted into my nostrils, so I inched closer to Caden, knowing that this would surely be an act of disobedience in Roman's eyes, and smiled. "Well, I do take punishments very well." Roman growled, and my heart raced, but I didn't turn around. Instead, I sat, smiling at Caden, suggesting something more sinister than mere punishment. Something about getting on his nerves, about getting close to Roman any way that I could, always excited me. "I'm serious, Isabella," Caden said, completely oblivious to my flirting. "You're strong as hell. Training with us will give you that extra oomph. You'll be kicking my ass in no time. You're close to it." Roman walked over to us, and Caden's eyes lingered on me for a quick moment. Then they snapped to Roman. "Caden," he said, jaw clenched. "Lead the run." Caden stood and held out a hand. "Come on. You can make it." I grabbed his hand, raising my brow at Roman to test him. Oh boy, did I love testing him. Roman eyed us, his hands clenched into tight fists. When Caden released my hand and started walking to the crowd, I followed. But before I could lead the run with him like I did yesterday, Roman caught my arm. "You're not going." Caden gazed at Roman, nodded his head, and disappeared through the woods. The rest of the warriors and trainees, except Vanessa, followed, their feet pounding against the dirt like a thunderous echo. "Alpha, you're not coming?" Vanessa asked. Her tits were falling out of her white sports bra again. She leaned onto one foot, sticking out her hip. My wolf growled inside me, wanting me to bare my teeth at her. She was too close to him. Too damn close. I didn't like it. Roman gazed down at me with hard eyes, then looked at Vanessa, lips curling into a smirk. "Let's run together, the 3 of us." I clenched my jaw, turning toward the foggy forest. "No." Roman grabbed my hand, his skin on mine making me feel some sort of way. Not taking no for an answer, he dragged me to the running path. I yanked my hand away and rubbed it softly. I didn't have time to be distracted by him. I needed to focus. Vanessa stood on the other side of him, dragging her yellow nails across his bare shoulder. I took off through the woods, Roman hot on my heels and Vanessa surprisingly keeping up. I wouldn't be surprised if she accidentally tripped over a vine and accidentally sprained her ankle just to get more of his attention. She started yakking about how she planned to work really, really hard this week because she had been dreaming of being the strongest warrior wolf in this pack, like she didn't bully me in middle school for wanting the same thing. She wouldn't be able to last a single practice if they amped up the intensity for her like they had done with me. Roman gave her his full attention, smiling and staring and even flirting with her. I growled under my breath, leaping over a vine and ducking under a tree branch. I pushed myself harder, faster, farther away from them, not wanting to even hear a sentence more of their conversation. Her voice was so shrill, so utterly shrill. Everyone was already stretching when we reached the practice area. I pressed my lips together, breathing heavily out of my nose, and walked straight to Derek. If I hear another word out of her mouth, I swear I will cut my ears off. Derek eyed Vanessa and Roman as they finally made their way to the practice area. She gazed at me, fingers brushing against his forearm. What was her problem? "Is someone jealous?" Derek asked, pulling his knee to his chest to stretch. I crossed my arms. "Jealous of her?" I asked, watching her talk to some other warrior wolves. At least she wasn't hanging off of Roman's arm anymore. "No, she's just annoying." He rested his forearm on my shoulder and tugged on a strand of my hair. That's what they all say." "You know, sometimes I hate you," I said. Derek gave me a cheeky grin and I couldn't help but smile back. Roman cleared his throat. "Get into partners. One warrior wolf with one trainee." He gazed at me for a quick moment, and I thought he would walk over and partner with me. But then he turned toward Vanessa. I stifled a growl, not wanting to seem jealous, because I wasn't. No, I wasn't jealous over the most annoying tryhard here. She grabbed his waist, her hands clasping behind his back, trying to take him down. Her breasts pressed into his chest, rubbing on him like she was his. I hated her. My wolf was jumping around inside of me, begging me to let her free so she could do whatever she wanted to her. I controlled my innate urges, gazing at Caden from across the field. I walked over to him, determined not to let Vanessa or Roman get in the way of what I had studied last night in the bath. No letting Caden push me around like he did yesterday. I would put up a fight. He barreled toward me, arms curling around my knees to try to take me down. I looped my arms under his, turned him onto his back and slammed him onto the ground, his head nearly bouncing off of the dirt. He rolled onto his stomach and dug his fingernails into the dirt, struggling to push my body weight off of him. "Damn," he said. "I expected you to go easy on me like you did yesterday." He winked and rolled me over onto my back. I held a strong wrestling base with all of my strength and escaped his hold. Before he could throw me onto the ground again, I stood all the way up and shook my head. I'm prepared today. He headed in for another attack, this time a punch-jab-hook combo. I ducked under each one, avoiding contact. He grabbed my wrist, trying to break my stance, but I continued to resist him. Sure, I hated getting ragged on while everyone got it easy, but if someone was going to go hard on me, then I wanted it to be Caden. After Roman, he was the second strongest warrior in this pack. If I could fight him, I could fight anyone else here. We wrestled for the next half hour, not even stopping when everyone else rested. Maybe it was the way his lips were so close to my neck, or the way his body was grinding against mine with each move, But I caught Roman glaring at us during practice. Each time he looked over, he was angrier. When Roman announced that we would end in 2 minutes, I faked Caden out, pretending to go in for another takedown but throwing him over my hip instead. He landed on the ground with a thud and smiled up at me. "There's that warrior that Roman always talks about." I arched a brow and helped him up. Roman talked about me? About my warrior abilities? Since when? What did he say? "I expect you to throw me around even more tomorrow." We walked over to our bags and Caden grabbed a shirt. "You're the most skilled trainee here." "Well, Katie," I said, gazing over my shoulder at him. Roman stood a few feet away, staring at me with those golden eyes. "I'll be ready for you to go extra hard on me tomorrow, then." I tossed my gym bag over my shoulder and winked, walking right out of the training area toward Derek's car, and right away from an angry alpha that I knew I would see later tonight.
You've reached the end of this episode. Thanks for listening. To get up to 4 weeks additional uncensored content, subscribe to the podcast at reamstories.com/Amelia Rose Audio. Due to content restrictions, explicit sex scenes will only be available through Ream. But if you'd like to continue listening to my free episodes, make sure to hit the follow button to receive updates.